beads, and I thought we could maybe make some prayer beads. So I have borrowed my daughter's bead making kit, but you don't have to have a bead making kit, and I'll show you other ways of using basically any string or any lace that you might have. But we're going to start by making some prayer beads. So I've already got a string and some coloured beads. I've got a blue bead and a yellow bead, and in my hand I've got a purple, a pink and a green bead. So I'm just going to thread the others on. There's the green one, the pink one, and the purple one. Yeah, oh, it's a bit tricky. There's the purple one. And then we tie it in a little knot. Like that. Now you could have it on your wrist or around your neck, but probably wrist is best, or something just hold. So here we've got 5 lovely beads. And of course, the beads will have to represent something. So what will they represent? So let's take the purple bead, for example. The purple bead might represent our friends. So especially at this time when we don't see our friends very often, or we don't see all of our friends, we can take a moment and pray for our friends while we're holding the purple bead. Then the pink bead we could use to pray for our family. Maybe family that we don't see very often, or families that are living far away from us. So we think of our families. My family lives away in Ireland, so I think of my parents living in Ireland on the pink bead. Then the green bead could be when we think about our school, perhaps, because we're homeschooling at the moment. We don't see our teachers very often face to face. We might see them on the screen, but it's not the same. So we think of our school and all of the teachers that are working so hard to help us to learn in these difficult times, and all of the other staff that we don't see very often in our lovely school. So that's the green. The yellow bead could be our community. So lots of people in community who are working very hard in hospitals, or police, or nursery school teachers, or refuse men, bin men, or window cleaners, or all sorts of people that we don't even think about. Let's remember and pray for those in the community. Maybe we pray for the vulnerable and the lonely as well. And the blue one, well, I think it's always important to pray for ourselves as well. So never forget to pray for ourselves and ask God to look after us and to keep us calm and keep us focused every day. But of course, you can use these prayer beads for anything you want. You can use them for any subject or anything that you want to pray for. So if you think of 5 different things that you want to pray for, then choose the colour that matches best the subject you want to pray for. For example, you could pray for the needs of the world. So the purple would be praying for people who are hungry. The pink one could be for praying for people who are sick. The green one could be for praying for people who are very poor. The yellow one could be for praying for people who are homeless. And the blue one could be for praying for people who are thirsty, who don't have any fresh water in the world. And you believe those things really exist still. Or you could pray for God's creation. You could give thanks to God for trees on the purple one. You could give thanks to God for the sun on the pink one. You could give thanks to God for the beach on the green one. You could give thanks to God for the rain on the yellow one. Or you could give thanks to God for the sky on the blue one. Or you could match the colours with the theme, so you could give thanks to God for sky on the blue one, give thanks to God for the sun on the yellow one, give thanks to God for forests on the green one, give thanks to God for, I don't know, birds on the pink one, give thanks to God for animals on the purple one, anything at all that you want to do. So that's our prayer beads. Now, if you don't have beads, you can use any string or any lace, and you can simply tie a knot. So you can tie different knots. So there's one knot, and then move along and tie a different knot. There's two knots. And you move along the string, one after the other, and you can think of things to pray for or to reflect on. Now, if you don't even have a lace or a string or a bead making kit, you have your hands, and you can pray for 5 things using your hands, using your fingers. So first thing is your thumb, and your thumb is the one that's nearest to you, so you pray for yourselves using your thumb. The second finger is the pointing finger, and that's the one that reaches out. So we pray for those who reach out to other people, such as our teachers and our nurses and doctors, those who are caring for other people. That's your second finger. The third finger is the tallest finger, and we think of our leaders in the world when we pray for the tallest finger. We pray with the tallest finger for the leaders, governments, the Queen. We pray for peace, that people who are in control of our lives might actually bring peace to the world. The fourth finger is actually the weakest finger, believe it or not. And this is the finger we use to pray for the hungry, the homeless, the vulnerable, the isolated, the weak, those who really need our help. And finally, the smallest finger is we pray for the things that we forget about, because it's the smallest finger. Sometimes we forget about things or forget about people that are important to us. So the little finger helps us to remember those who are forgotten, that God will not forget anybody. We remember that God never forgets anybody. So that's 5 different prayers on a hand, on your finger. So you don't need beads or a string, you can just use your fingers. Different ways of praying that help us not to get too distracted when we're wanting to find ways to reflect or to thank God for all that He has done for us.